morning students, class 10th, SST, Civics, chapter number 7, Outcome of Democracy. Yesterday we started this chapter, day before yesterday. How do we assess democracy's outcomes? Why democracy is a better form of governments? How democracy comes true on the three tests, three examination, that is accountability, responsiveness and legitimate government. So we studied about accountability of democracy, responsiveness and legitimacy of the democracy. Today we are going to study about the economic growth and development under different forms of government, whether it is democracy, whether it is dictatorship or monarchy. What is the level of economic progress, economic development in democracy as compared to other forms of government? Economic growth and development. If democracies are expected to produce good government, then it is not fair to expect that they would also produce development. If under democracy the government is fair, then we can expect that the economic progress of a country under such democratic regime is also up to the satisfactory mark. Evidence shows that in practice many democracies did not fulfill this expectation. So in many democracies around the world do not come true, do not justify their level in economic progress. The reason behind it, again, the freedom. Democracy is by the people, for the people and to the people. That is the citizens of the country, whether they are responsible for the development, if they are forming the government, if the government is formed on their virtue, by their virtue, then they have to see that what is the development of their own nation. If you consider all democracies and all dictatorships for 15 years between 1950 and 2000, dictatorship have slightly higher rate of economic growth as compared to dictatorship. Democracies, under democracy, the economic progress is less. The inability of democracy to achieve higher economic development worries us, but this alone cannot be reason to reject democracy. As you have already studied in economics, economic development depends on several factors: country's population, size, global situation, cooperation from other countries, economic priorities adopted by the country, etc. However, the difference in the rate of economic development between less developed countries with dictatorships and democracies is negligible, is very less. It is said that under democracy the economic progress is slow, but only the population, only the ineffectiveness of the people is not responsible for that low level of economic progress, but there are several other factors which affects the economic growth. For example, the population size, the global situation, the cooperation from other countries, economic priorities adopted by the country. These are the factors which affect the economic growth, not the effective working of the population, but what is the policies and programs of the country, how the nation integrate with the other nations in the field of economic progress. That is the most responsible, most important factor which is responsible for the economic progress. Overall, we cannot say that democracy is a guarantee of economic development, but we can expect democracy not to lag behind dictatorship in this respect. When we find such significant difference in the rate of economic growth between the countries under dictatorship and democracy, it is better to prefer democracy as it has several other positive outcomes. It do have several other outcomes. On this particular factor, on the basis of economic growth, we can't reject democratic government, but there are many other forms, other benefits, other factors which favors democracy, which is people favors the democratic form of government and not the dictatorship. Not only this factor that economic growth in dictatorship is more as compared to the democracy, but only on that fact the economic progress doesn't depend. There are many other factors, and the difference in of economic growth among dictatorship and democracy is very negligible. It is not so wide. Economic outcomes of democracy. Page number 94. Arguments about democracy tends to be very passionate. This is how it should be. For democracy appeals to some of our deep values. These debates cannot be resolved in a simple manner, but some debates about democracy can and should be resolved by referring to some facts and figures. The debate about the economic outcome of democracy in one such debate. Over the year, many students of democracy have gathered careful evidence to see what the relationship of democracy with economic growth and economic quality is. The table and the cartoon here present some of the evidence. Table 1. Rates of economic growth for different countries 1950-2000. The type of regime of the country, that is democratic, dictators, the 3.95, 4.42, poor countries under dictatorship 4.34, poor country under democracy 4.28. See, the difference in the economic progress is very negligible where the dictatorship is there and democratic government is there. South Africa, see the name of the country, inequality of income in selected countries. South Africa, percentage of national income, top 20%, 64.8, 2.9. Brazil 63, 2.6. Russia, this is the top one and this is the bottom. Top 20% and bottom 20%. With the help of this table, you can study the inequality of income in selected countries. And table 1 shows the rate of economic growth in different countries with the different regimes. If the country is democratic or the country is dictatorship. Although it is clear from the table that the economic progress under dictatorial regimes is more, but the difference is not so much. Difference is not big. The table and the cartoon here present some of the evidences. Table 1 shows that on an average dictatorial regime have had a slightly better record of economic growth, but when we compare their records only in poor countries, there is virtually no difference. Table 2 shows that within democracies there can be very high degree of inequalities in democratic countries. Like South Africa, Brazil, the top percent people take away more than 60% of the national income, leaving less than 3% for the bottom 20% population. Inequalities of distribution of national income is there among democratic countries. Means the poor are becoming more poor and rich are becoming more richer. Countries like Denmark and Hungary are much better in this respect. You can see in the cartoon there is often inequality of opportunities available to poor sections. Housing, health care, schooling and hunger. You tell me, my goodness little fellow, how far did you fall down? Reduction of inequality and poverty. Page number 95. Perhaps more than development, it is reasonable to expect democracies to reduce economic disparities, differences in economic progress. Disparities means unequal, not even, uneven. Even when a country achieves economic growth, will wealth be distributed in such a way that all citizens of the country will have a share and lead a better life? Is economic growth in democracies accompanied by increased inequality among the people? yes, we can see from the example from the table that there is inequality of income distribution. Table 2 shows it clearly. Is economic growth in democracies accompanied by increasing inequality among the people? Or do democracies lead to a just distribution of goods and opportunities? Democracies are based on political equality. All individuals have equal weight in electing representatives. Parallel to the process of bringing individuals into the political arena of equal footing, we find growing economic inequalities. A small number of ultra-rich enjoys a highly disproportionate share of wealth and income. Not only that, their share in the total income of the country has been increasing. That is the thing. That is what I want to say. That under democracy, the poor people are becoming more poorer. The difference between them is increasing more and more. It clearly shows that it is the inequality and is unequal distribution of national income leads to poverty and leads to unequal distribution of national income. Those at the bottom of the society have a very little to depend upon. Their income have been declining. Sometimes they find it difficult to meet their basic needs of life such as food, clothing, house, education and health. That is a common feature of democracy. In actual life, democracies do not appear to be very successful in reducing economic inequality. In class 9th economic textbook, you have already studied about poverty in India. That is the main reason of poverty in India. Unequal distribution of national income. The poor constitute a large portion of our voters and no party will like to lose their votes. Yet democratically elected government do not appear as to be keen to address the question of poverty as you would expect them to. The situation is much worse in some other countries. In Bangladesh, more than half of its population lives in poverty. People in several poor countries are now dependent on the rich countries even for food supplies. Accommodation of social diversities. Definitely in this field, accommodation in social diversity, democracy plays an important role because it provides field, it provides a scope to participate in the government for all. In the beginning, we have studied why democracy is a better form of government. 5 reasons were mentioned there. Promote equality among citizens, enhances the dignity of individual, improves the quality of decision making, provides a method to resolve conflicts, and allow rooms to correct mistakes. Do democracies lead to peaceful and harmonious life among citizens? Although perhaps a democratic country gives a right to every citizen to practice their own religion. That is why unity in diversity is the main feature of a democratic country. It will be fair expectation that democracy should produce a harmonious social life. We have seen in the earlier chapter how democracies accommodate various social divisions. We saw in the first chapter how Belgium has successfully negotiated differences among ethnic population by amending their constitution several times in favor of their citizens. That was the main reason of Belgium as a country, as a united country now. Whereas opposite to it is Sri Lanka. This reduces the possibility of these tensions becoming explosive or violent, and which do protect a country from chaos, like it is happening in Sri Lanka, because they have not amended their constitution in order to accommodate their diversities. No society can fully and permanently resolve conflict among different groups, but we can certainly learn to respect these differences, and we can allow evolved mechanism to negotiate the differences. Democracy is best suited to produce this outcome. Non-democratic regimes often turn a blind eye or suppress internal social differences. But this is not happening in dictatorship. They turn a blind eye towards such diversities, differences. Ability to handle social differences, divisions and conflicts is thus a definite plus point of democratic regimes. But the example of Sri Lanka reminds us that democracy must fulfill two conditions in order to achieve this outcome. Basically, two conditions are there which must be provided to the masses, to the citizens, in order to lead a peaceful and developing economy. It is necessary to understand that democracy is not simply ruled by majority opinion. The majority always needs to work with minority so that government functions to represent the general view. Majority and minority opinion are not permanent. The first condition under democracy to ensure the accommodation of social diversity is the majority and minority must live with one another in a harmonious condition. Majority and minority opinions are not permanent, not same, not fixed. They are dynamic, changing from time to time. It is also necessary that rule by majority does not become a rule by majority community in terms of religious or race or linguistic group, as it happened in Sri Lanka. Rule by majority means that in case of every decision or in a case of every election, different persons and groups may and can form a majority. Democracy remains democracy only as long as every citizen has a chance of being in a majority at some point of time. If someone is barred from being in a majority on the basis of birth, then the democratic rule ceases to be accommodative for a person or a group. Then if a differences are there, differences in minority and majority is there, then the democratic rule ceases, तो वो उसको complete, उसको satisfy नहीं कर सकती. Dignity and freedom of citizens. Under democracy, it is also a plus point in favor of democracy. Accommodation of social diversity is another achievement of democracy, where the democracy is scoring more than other forms of government. Democracy stands much superior to any other form of government in promoting dignity and freedom of the individuals. As the definition says, the definition of the democracy says, it is a government for the people, by the people and to the people. That means the dignity and freedom of the citizen. The democracy is promoting that thing. Democracy stands much superior to any other form of government in promoting dignity and freedom of the individual. Every individual wants to receive respect from fellow beings. Often conflicts arise among individuals because some feel that they are not treated with due respect. The passion for respect and freedom are the basis of democracy. Democracies throughout the world have recognized this, at least in principles. This has been achieved in various degrees in various democracies. For societies which we have been built for long on the basis of subordinate and dominion, it is not a simple matter to recognize that all individuals are equal. Take the case of dignity of women. Most societies across the world were historically male-dominated societies. Long struggle by women have created some sensitivity today that respect and the equal treatment of women are necessary ingredient of democratic societies. That does not mean that the women are actually always treated with respect. But once the principle is recognized, it becomes easier for women to wage a struggle against what is now unacceptable legally and morally. So that is the main thing. The empowerment of women is still not achieved in India. The women are still discriminated against the male. We are still living in a patriarchal society where the important decision of a family are taken by the male members. It is a male dominated society. So still we can say the dignity and freedom of the citizens are provided under the democratic form of government and not any other form of government. I am anxious about my board examination, but democracy has so many exams and millions of examiners. So every now and then democracy is passing or facing some or the other challenge. Some or the other test of democracy is always going on. So we are going to continue with the chapter tomorrow. Till then, thank you. What we have studied today we have studied two important factors, reduction, or three important factors, which are testing the examination, testing the democratic regime. That is the reduction of inequality and poverty. The another challenge, that is accommodation of social diversity, is better in democratic form of government, and dignity and freedom of the citizen is ensured more in democratic regimes as compared to others. Tomorrow we are going to repeat this last topic, that is dignity and freedom of the citizen, and we are going to conclude the chapter as well as the course. Thank you.